sometimes. I am. That's okay. And look, my grays, my grays. I've been grazing. Get it? Hello, hello. I showed up when I said I was going to add that to the plus list. If you are tuning in right now and you can hear me and you can see me, please just put something in the comments so that I know you can see and hear me. Okay. Um, YouTube can be wonky. YouTube can be nutty and cuckoo, and sometimes it hears me. Excellent, Cheryl. And yes, obviously, I would think unless you read lips really well, you could hear me say that. So rock on, Cheryl with an S in Brooklyn. Thank you, you guys. Awesome. Because now we don't have to bug everybody else about that. So thank you for making it easier on yourselves and everybody else. Hello, Rachel. Or could it be Rochelle? Who knows? Good evening, as Alfred Hitchcock would say. What a day. What a day. I cannot believe it's 8 a.m. already. I saw many of you, and probably more as people decide to show up or not. It's totally up to them. The most important thing for me is that I'm here for you, that I didn't, ghost on you or forget or whatever. But it's 8 a.m. Leslie M., nice to see you. 8 a.m. this morning. Oh, no, wait. That was yesterday. I need to catch up on my book of good stuff. But let's see. 9 a.m. Okay, I gave myself some grace because we went out last night. So I got started at 9 a.m. today, and it's 8 a.m. right now, 8 p.m. It's been a good day. It's been a good day. If I said that to you, which I am, what would you give to me as evidence of it being a good day? We are so used to starting with, you'll never believe the stuff that happened, and it's rarely good stuff. We are used to leading with the negative, so I like to disrupt that immediately. So, what's something good that happened to you today? And here's a fun thing, and this is what I will do with myself and with you. And this is what I do with my clients. You can write it in the comments, that's fine. Better yet, write a note to yourself. Write a note to yourself. What are some good things that happened today? Once you write it to yourself, you can share it with others, but you also have physical evidence. You have ideally a legible sentence or something that's going to remind you of the good stuff that happened today. So I'm going to take a few moments and do that. I suggest you do the same, and let's see how it feels. So yesterday, okay. Now here's a fun thing too. If I relied on my head to ask me what I did yesterday, I would be hard pressed to do it. That's why I look at my schedule from the day before. Louise says, great stuff happened today. Okay, Louise, I love that. I want you to write it down as a note to self so you can remember it as a souvenir from today, a postcard to yourself today. It doesn't have to be long. It's not journaling. You're writing a postcard from a good day. And these are the things that happened on this good day. So write yourself a postcard. I'm going to do that myself right now, and then we can share. How's that? Sound good? Okay, that was a good thing. Um, this was a good thing. This was fine. Now, when I try to hurry, I write crappy. And so I can't read it. So I'm going to slow myself down. See, this is the great thing about writing down is writing down something. I want to say forces, but it kind of forces your body and your brain that's going up, 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 up to shift gears and to slow down, to kind of put the brakes on so you can write, you can hear in your brain what's going on. So I'm going to slow down and write more legibly. And when we write these things down, nobody else has to see it. It's just for you. It's just for you. Good stuff here. Good stuff. Now, here's a fun thing to think of too is writing down the good stuff that happened today, a little snapshot, a little postcard to yourself from the end of your journey. Let's say if you're on a road trip, writing a postcard to yourself to remember that good day doesn't take that long at all. I actually thought I was going to put on my timer there and just give us a minute or so to do that, but it doesn't take a long time. So I love this. Hey, Penny Myers in Brooklyn says, my husband got word that he's getting promoted to lieutenant colonel. Well, that's awesome. Oh, I love it. So Louise had some great stuff happening today, she shares. Worked in the yard for 4 hours with my grandson with a heart. That's great. And had 2 hours of Beth's teachings. Oh, look at me. I'm teaching. I'm in my toga. I'm at the Parthenon, right? Now you have a bonus. Now you have a bonus. Now I have no idea what I'm going to teach today, but what I do is I show up to help you um, feel good about what's going on and encourage you so that you end up feeling good before you go to bed. How does that sound? This may be not the time, excuse me, to make a list, or maybe it is. Maybe you want to get a jump start on tomorrow by simply making a plan, roughing in a plan of what you're going to do tomorrow so that you feel good that you know what's going to happen. You know, Louise, I love that. That's so good. That is so good. Oh, I just remembered another thing. Notice this. Once you get the juices flowing, other things may pop up like, oh, I remember that happened now. Now, what we got going on here? Did I do some of the things that I wrote down that I thought I was going to do? Yes, I did. Did I do them all? No, I didn't. Is that okay? Hell's a poppin'. Yeah. I love it. Jennifer says, took a nice walk and saw a red cardinal. Yeah. You know what I noticed about yesterday when I looked back at it is I barely went outside because it was pouring rain here and crappy and cold. I felt so excited today when I was able to go outside and walk and not be rained on, that it was a little bit warmer, that I noticed flowers that are blooming. We have had such a blooming season here, probably because of all uh, the blooming rain. Um, I was able to take two nice long walks today. So I'm feeling good about that. I'm also feeling tired because I think I overdid it a little bit and haven't compensated for jet lag and stuff like that, but that's okay. I will get into bed early tonight, read a little bit, and fall asleep. So if you look for the good, you will find the good. The good will be more obvious to you. Now, it's not like it wasn't there and then it appears. It was there all along. But what you focus on, you what it was, there's like a saying in life coaching and stuff. What you focus on, you create more of. You know, you're giving energy to something. You're focusing your energy and your focus on something. So if you start looking for that crappy thing, you're going to find examples of crappy things. I could easily turn on the news and find examples of all sorts of crappy things. I'm not going to do that though, because when I don't feel good, I don't do good. Do well, whatever. When I feel better, I do better. When I feel good, I do good. So I encourage you to think of that too, you know? And I love it. And here's a funny thing, Lieutenant Colonel, I assume that's the Army. Very neat. That's a big deal. My dad was in the Navy, so I don't know. He was like a something or other. There we go. Yes. And Cheryl, right on, right on. Saw some sunny skies this evening after 5 days of rain, and that made me smile. Yes, Army. Okay, thank you. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. I don't know. That's something that's stuck up here. I saw the sun too. I was at a neighbor's house. A neighbor invited me and another neighbor over for lunch. She made us lunch. It was the coolest thing. And at it, we were just sitting around her kitchen island. She made us a nice chicken salad, and there was some fruit and things. And we're all just chatting about stuff. And all of a sudden, I say, "Oh, you guys, check it out. I don't want to scare it away, but I can see the sun outside. You know." Now, all right, yay, Penny Myers. The sun was shining here too. Here's an interesting concept, and it never occurred to me, and so I'll share it with you because maybe you've never thought about it. The sun is shining all the time. The sun is shining 24/7, 365 until it doesn't, and then we're all fucked. But what gets in the way is the clouds and the way that the earth is spinning, but the sun is always shining. It's just the clouds get in the way, as Judy Collins would say. Hey, Kara. I love it. I'm wrapping up my silver research during this last live. Good. You know, it'd be really cool, not to pressure you. I want you to do a good job, but maybe as we get towards the end of this live, which will be in about 52 minutes, you can chime in and let us know what you found out about the silver that you are looking to sell and use that money for something else. That'd be cool. Now, did more laundry, no dahlia planting because it's freezing and raining here. Soon enough, my dear, soon enough. I have seen peonies, you know, those big fluffy ones. I am telling you, there's a dearth. Is that a lot? I can never remember. Is that a dearth? I'm going to have to look that up. There's a wicked lot. Let's just use a simpler word. Dearth. Oh, that's a lack of scarcity. Okay. There's the antonym of a dearth, a plethora, maybe, an opposite. Okay. What's the opposite of a dearth? Yeah, dearth means death. Abundance. There we go. There has been an abundance of peonies at in our local area. So there you go. Yeah, not dearth. Yeah, plethora. Yeah, thank you. Or some people have called it plethora, like thesaurus. I don't know. Let's call the whole thing off. So, yay for the good stuff that happened. Oh well, for the not so good stuff that happened that you have control over. And yay for you wanting to change some good stuff. Yeah, my peonies are tight and waiting for warmth, the poor things. Yeah, it's so funny. So we have Wegmans grocery stores around here, and I went to Wegmans yesterday, the day before, and I am telling you, almost at every end of an end cap, it seemed like there was peonies there, and there's some as you're walking in, and there's some, and it was like $2 a stem. So fun. So fun to see them. They're like giant fluff balls. They almost look like, what they remind me of are those Hostess snowballs. They were pink and they had like um, what do you call it? Coconut on the outside and something goopy and goofy on the inside. And we rarely got those kind of treats when I was growing up, but I remember seeing them. Um, so, yay for the good stuff. How about planting some seeds that will grow for good stuff tomorrow? Tomorrow. Now, I like to, and I highly recommend time spent thinking and making a plan. Time spent with your thoughts and a pen in your hand and some paper to write them down on is some of the most valuable time you can spend. When you do that, I helped a client today, and literally what we did on a coaching call, because I do this kind of like the decluttering parties, is not just go theory, 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 and then do it on your own. It's like let's have an idea and let's put it into practice. Now she was wanting to make a plan for she's got to sell her mom's house because her mom already lives in an apartment and it's time to sell the mom's house. And so she says, so I have, and she literally, you could see the body language. I've got some ideas kind of in the back of my head. And I noticed, and I said, so I asked her, I said, have you written any of them down? And she says, no, they're kind of percolating in the back of my head. I said, well, one of the things that's great to do is get the thoughts out of your head and down onto paper. What I like to say is whatever comes up, just write it down. Write it down. You can cross it out later, but it's easier to have it there. And I said, I will mute myself. I will busy myself, and let's give you this time to kind of download all of the wonderfulness in your brain that's helping you to get towards destination mom's house getting sold. It took about maybe 5 minutes or so. And she was like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better today. I feel so much better just having done that. It's a load off. It's so you don't have to carry around those thoughts up here. You have put them, instead of carrying them in here, they're in a wheelie suitcase, you know? So when you have thoughts, write them down. Good ones, yay. Bad ones, yeah, write those down too because you can learn from them. What are the thoughts that make me feel ugh? No, I love it. I planted allium for the first time and they look like fireworks. They are maybe 12 inches across. My goodness, that sounds amazing. I'm going to look them up on the interwebs because I used to do, okay, that's what I thought they were. So here's a funny thing. The only way I know many flowers is because both at Pier 1 Imports, where I worked for many years, and for Mikasa, when I worked in their stores for many years, we would have a silk flowers, a what do you call it, like fake flower display. And so I learned some of the names from them, and I remember allium being like those long stands with a in front of it. So 2 from I love it. Jennifer says, "I love it when you call it the interwebs." You know what's funny? Talk about a habit of using a certain word. I did not even notice I said interwebs. But you know what? When I do, it cracks me up. Uh, I was talking with a neighbor, on my walk home today because I went to Pilates, um, and I ran into this couple who are friends of ours who were also on a walk, and so we stopped and chatted. I love the small townville that I live in. And it was so funny. And I literally, she was talking about how somebody said, look me up on the YouTube. Because sometimes I put a the in there like an old timey person would do, or an old person would do. And I literally almost said to them, oh yeah, Google it on the YouTube. The TikToks, yeah, the YouTubes, right, It's like going to the Acme, going to, different things like that, and so I cracked myself up, and we had a laugh because she was talking about it somebody, and I just said, "Oh, yeah, you might wanna Google that on the YouTubes." I'm like, "No, you can just Google it," and then I probably should have said on the interwebs, but you know what? Why not make speaking fun? Why not burst into song and use a song lyric? Now, the gentleman in the couple that we met is a musician as well. So lately, I've been thinking about the song "You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet." Is that Brett Backman Turner Overdrive? Or maybe Bachman Turner Overdrive, the fancy version. And it's like I took what I could get. I took what I could get. Any love is good love. So any movement of your body is good movement of your body. Any laugh you can get, and unless it's at somebody else's expense, is a good laugh. Um, so what are any good stuff that's happened is good stuff. Ooh, giant Schuberti. They are shorter than normal, but have green and blue leaves, and they are fabulous. I love what a green thumb you are. That's so freaking cool. That is so freaking cool. I appreciate seeing people who have a green thumb and do great things with their yards. Me, my what do you call them? And actually, that's a really good thing I thought of. My weeds are probably as big as our yucca plants out there. Tomorrow's going to be a nice day. We've got some time, and I said to my husband, "Tomorrow, let's weed the garden." Now, weeding the garden, it's like decluttering. There we go. Oh, hey, that's fun. Now, I love this because Louise says, while I was exfoliating. So she could have been literally removing the dead layer of skin on her body. Think of decluttering as exfoliating. Actually, that would be like surface clutter. The dead skin cells that you use and you no longer need, you just exfoliate them. So she says, while I was exfoliating a box the other day, I found drink stirrers from Pier 1 that had never been used. So I unboxed them and put them away to be used. Yes, I want to hear when you use those. I want you to make some fancy drinks, even if it's just a seltzer water or, a Pola seltzer in a glass. And I want you to hear when you've used your stirrer. All right, use your stirrer. I love that. Will do. All right, there's your assignment. Go to it. So, yay. Yay for us for showing up tonight. What are some cool things you could do today? What are some good things? Let's even look a little bit further out. How do you want your weekend to go? Notice I'm starting with the destination weekend. And instead of, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I whatever. Hold on, hang on, Sloopy, hang on. How do I want to feel this weekend? 3 words. How do I want to feel this weekend? I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to play along with the home game. I want to feel rested. I want to feel peaceful. And how about this? Grateful, gratitude, gratitudinal. Now, I think being in a state of gratitude is really a cool thing to say because you can notice all the things you can be grateful for. Even right now, I'm looking down at the dates because I make my list. I make my calendar, my what do I call it? Like my roadmap for the weekend. And there's a couple of chunks on there, not a lot. Okay, that's the wrong thing. Oh, that's right. And then cliff away, question mark. Um, I'm grateful that some people have purchased tickets to Saturday morning's declutter party. Now, it's an early morning declutter party. It starts at 8 a.m. Eastern, but I'm doing that purposely. As the weather gets nicer, hopefully it gets nicer where you are, I want you to be able to declutter and kind of like if you're a comedian and you do that improv, yes, and. So it's not like I can't play or go out and play. I want you to do some decluttering, give yourself a time to feel good for decluttering, but then go out and play. So we're starting that earlier. I'm grateful that people enjoy these declutter parties. So that makes me feel good and it makes me um, schedule more of them. I am grateful that I have a yoga class to go to because it really is helping my physical health and mental health to build my strength in a way that feels good to me, that I feel like I could literally do yoga from now until my deathbed. That is something I want to do. Weightlifting, not so much. Right. I love it. Louise says, I want to feel accomplished, blessed, and grateful. Okay. So, blessed and grateful is noticing the things to be grateful for, maybe even writing them down. Um, how about this? I'm grateful that people are liking my TikTok lives and YouTube lives so much that I decided to do some on Sunday morning, 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. I have them written down. Should probably make them bigger on my calendar because I don't usually do ones on Sunday. I am grateful for. What are you grateful for? I love it. Now, this is an interesting uh, word that Louise says, accomplished. So I ask you, what do you want to accomplish? And maybe better yet, not even starting with the what you want to accomplish, what destination are your actions that you want to accomplish going to lead you towards? I remember doing this a while back and thinking about two things. It was kind of like a not a diagram like where you've got like four boxes. Like you could go four boxes. And one of them is that kind of list of things to do and to think about how, and then also on the other side would be kind of some of your destinations. How do you want to feel? Um, you know, I want to feel well rested. I want to feel healthy. Um, I want to feel, you know, and thinking about how each of your actions does it directly relate to one of the goals you want to have, one of the things you want. Okay, you want to complete my container planters. Wonderful. Wonderful. That sounds like a fun goal. So yeah, and you will know you're done when your container planters are done. But even if you don't get it done, if you get some of them done, that's great. Before you do any kind of action, remind yourself why you're doing it. Is what you're doing going to lead to something you want to do or have or a destination you want? If not, ask yourself why you are doing it. Okay, accomplish some more purging. All right. Now, notice purging to me is always a tricky verb. What I want to say is just, well, it's funny. It would be one of those like old-timey people who wouldn't call it the bathroom. They'd call it, well, remember there was a thing once when I was in grade school and they called it the euphemism, which I thought was hysterical. I think we got that from like a Dr. Seuss uh cartoon we watched. Um, but there we go, exfoliating. Yes, because purging sometimes brings the good up with the bad. They talk about binging and purging in health, you know what I mean? And not being good. You're actually, so I don't particularly like that word. What I prefer or purging the voter registrations and some good stuff, maybe good regular people get caught up in that. But how about yes, exfoliating? Exfoliating. What can you remove that you just no longer use so that the next layer shows up and is feeling good? Um, I will tell you, actually, one of my main goals, and I'm going to write this down because this is not me, but I'm like, I got to write down basement because yay, we had basement people working today. Well, person. An idea basement almost done. Destination basement. I cannot wait for that to happen. Um, yeah, I totally lost my train of thought right there. That's okay. That's okay. Actually, here's a funny one, and I will admit this came from my ex-husband. He said this phrase once, and I know he got it from somebody else. He said, "My train of thought got derailed," which I think is kind of funny. Train of thought, my thoughts are in a train, and sometimes they go off, but you can get back on the rail. Okay. And that's interesting. You think of a train of thought. Let's even riff on that one, right? Um, Train of thought. A train is made up of train cars. A sentence is made up of words, conjunction, junction, and all that. So think about a thought as being just a train full of words, and you can decide which train cars you keep and which ones you don't. Now, Judy is asking, do you have someone to take everything back to the basement? Yes, he's called my husband. Now, the good news is we are not going to take everything down the basement. We are going to do another round of decluttering with the goal of making doubly sure that what goes down the basement is truly something that needs to go down there. We're also going to not try to do it all at once. I would much rather take our time, do it right, as the song says. Take your time, do it right. We can do it, baby. You know? And I want to make sure that when we bring it down there, that things like items are placed together. That when my husband has decided that, yes, I do want to keep these things, that perhaps we get more suitable containers for things because some things are just in like these random things. It's too big, too small, doesn't fit, all that type of thing. So I want to do a good job of putting it away. Could easily take a week or two. I'm cool with that as long as I see motion, and I don't mind. I want to take my time and do it right and our time. And also because if we try to do it all at once, it's going to be tiring and we're going to get cranky and then we're going to do a sloppy job. Sloppy joes. So, yes. And if we do need help with some heavy stuff, we are blessed and lucky to have friends and neighbors we can call on. So that's a really good thing because actually you just thought of that would be like my husband has like one of those like stationary bicycles and we have a treadmill that would go down. So those are definitely a little bit beyond my scope. But getting help, asking for help with the stuff that's hard to do on your own. Nothing wrong with that. Now, I love this. Brooklyn says, I feel like I've decluttered as much as I'm willing to. I love your turn of a phrase. I'm willing to, but I enjoy your company so much. So thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. The neat thing is, honestly, here's the fun thing, Brooklyn, is I love that you're at a point where you're feeling good about what you've decluttered. I am not willing to declutter anything else at the moment. That's good. You know, that may change, it may not. But feeling good about where you are with your decluttering, that's great. If you and I were to talk more about decluttering, one of the things I would mention, I just realized I don't have my sweatshirt on. It turned nice out. Um, is maintenance, maintaining a decluttered home. Now that you've kind of knocked down the pile, you have reduced, it's almost like losing weight. You have gotten from this number of items and slowly lost pounds, 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 numbers, numbers, numbers. Um, and now you want to maintain. You don't want the pounds to grow back up and you don't want the clutter to grow back up. This is when your habits and awareness of your habits is really important to also do it so you're not always feeling I'm always decluttering. Now, there are some areas of your house, there are some cycles in your house. We've talked about them before: dishes, laundry, brushing your teeth every day. There's certain things that you will do over and over and over again. The more you can turn down the drama on those things and just do them, the happier you will be. To not even invest any of your time or energy, like your mental or physical energy. Well, you got to do the physical energy, the mental energy, nervous system energy in doing these things and just making as little of a deal of it as possible. That's going to be great. But yeah, I love it. And the neat thing is, too, is these tools that I share with you that you're learning to use as you declutter are tools that you can use in any kind of chunk of your life. Destination, what do I want to eat tomorrow? Destination, where do I want to go on vacation? Destination, I got to go buy a dress for a wedding. What do I want? Writing it down. I want long sleeves, short sleeves. I want it, striped, whatever. The more you can get in touch with what you want and write it down, the more you will look for it, the more it will be easier for you to find. So I highly recommend playing with these tools in other areas of your life. But I like that you like to hang out with not just me, but all of us. We got a cool crew here. Jennifer's saying Key West, Sloppy Joe's. I love that place. Yeah, Key West. That's where we went on our honeymoon. That was wicked fun. And we had an opportunity again in one of the many bands my husband's going that we have. That's one of my things is my some of the words I have up here that I really love: abundance and generosity, flexibility, peace of mind, curiosity, unexpected delights. So we had an unexpected opportunity to go down to Key West a number of years ago with one of the bands that my husband was in. And here's a great story about that too, was somebody sharing their abundance with us. So we went down there and literally we were in this crappy little no-tell motel, like right over the bridge. It wasn't even near downtown, but I was just happy to be there. I was going to not complain. But there was one band member who pretty much said, I can't sleep with anybody else in the room. So there's got to be four of you in one room and I will be in the other. And I thought that was crappy. But, we're down there. I'll make the best of it. There was another person in the band who is pretty much independently wealthy. You would recognize his last name. He's not like you wouldn't recognize it from musician. And he and his girlfriend were staying somewhere else completely different. Well, one of the other people who was there with us got on the phone with his girlfriend and explained the situation, and his girlfriend was like, "Oh, no, that will not do. You guys come down here. We will get you a room here. We have trillions of points. You can stay here." And I will never forget the contrast between where we had checked in and where I woke up the next morning. It was literally like this wonderful hotel that was right there on the water that was you could see the cruise ships coming in. Our room was spacious. We had a suite with them, but like their room was way on the other side and ours was. Such good memories. Thank you for reminding me of that. All righty. Now I love it. Kara is checking in. It's good to have accountability, and also I'm with her. I want her to find out how much her silver is worth. She says, "Here's my 30 minutes left update using Chat GPT to help ID British hallmarks." Oh, I love that. Names and patterns in sterling. Flatware set value 2K. Cups 80 to 150. Sterling coasters and pin dishes 100 to 200. German matchbook holder 300. Empire sterling S&Ps 100 to 300. Three salt cellar baskets Gorham 1860s 45 to 75. Very silver plate bowls 30. Now notice this. She got offered $2,000 for the whole lot, but she's wanting to make sure if that was a good offer or not. So she's doing some research and she's finding out that a lot of this stuff can be worth more. So isn't that fun? Think of the money you could make and put towards a hotel room in Los Angeles or upgrading to mint because that's what you're getting used to now. How fun is that? A Tiffany flask, 600 to 1,000. Yeah, now Kara um has collected and sold vintage and mid-century stuff before. So this isn't just like little tchotchkes she's finding around her house, but you may be surprised at some of the stuff that you go find when you're decluttering that could be worth a pretty penny for people. So notice that. What's something that you are holding on to that you don't particularly care for that you could convert into some cash? I know right in here, Kara. And it's funny that you talk about silver. It's a sterling silver plate. It's not particularly attractive nor useful. That's the thing. And I want to sell it. It's from my first marriage. An aunt gave it to me, not even an aunt. I guess she was like a cousin or something. Very nice, do not get me wrong. It's not my style. It may be somebody else's, and I want to sell it. So I have looked it up before, and it's worth a few $100s. And so you may see it on eBay yourself, and I'm going to decide what fun thing, what trip I'm going to put that towards, right? Now, oh, okay, okay. So, hey, Lady Bandit, had a good day until I attended a work meeting at the end of my day. It wasn't a positive experience. I'm still having to process through it. All right. If you want some help with that, you know the tools of the trade. What I would offer is getting some distance from it, quieting down your nervous system, but also get that out of you. Fold the paper in half. Write down the crappy things that happened on one side. Notice how you can do something else with those thoughts. Also, please do not forget that, I mean, it's never good to have any kind of crappy meeting, but also at the end of the day, you're probably low on energy, low on gas in your tank. So that may have made it feel worth too. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. So write that stuff down. Right. Now, Kara says this is stuff back to the silver. This is stuff that was going to be thrown away. It was all given to us last year, and we haven't done anything with it until now. I won't get that money, but I'm going to negotiate and be happy to move it. Yeah, this is what you do. And it's funny because she said she got an offer from some people that wanted to sell it. No big deal. Let them do the legwork. I would rather sell stuff low to somebody and just move it along and have them do the legwork to sell it piecemeal. But they offered this. She's going to come back with this, and ideally, they will kind of meet at more than they initially offered. That's how you do it. You never pay first price. You always say, "Is that the best you can do?" And it's so funny because I learned that from my dad at Brimfield. And Brimfield is coming up. I mean, it's always there, but July, and I love it. I won't get full retail, but that's okay. They will pay for our LA trip. And who doesn't love an LA trip? Last year for my birthday, my husband had a gig out there and we went there and celebrated. It was lovely. It was lovely. Um, this year we're going to Chicago for my birthday. I just use my birthday and our anniversary. Not that I even need an excuse, but it's kind of fun to plan a trip around something. And we're going to go see a lot of Frank Lloyd Wright buildings and the Edith Farnsworth House in Plano, Illinois. I'm going to stay at a bunch of hotels because I have some Marriott points I want to use, and I'm very excited about that. So yay for trips. Yay for good stuff to be grateful for. The stuff that's happened in the past that's good, writing it down, and then writing down the good stuff that you want to happen in the future. So, Lady Bandit, I feel bad that you didn't have a good work meeting. It can sting, it can hurt. We're all here to help you so you're not feeling so bad going to bed. Get those things, throw it up. Maybe that's purging. Throw up those bad thoughts, get them onto paper. That would be purging yourself of that stuff. Get it up out of you. Even if it may feel unpleasant, you'll feel better once you articulate to yourself what really went wrong or what made you feel not so great. And this may help you process through it by seeing it in words, by taking that amorphous, not feeling good, and realizing where it may have come from. Was I disrespected? Was I talked over? Was I fired? Was that person lying? Was it an argument? What was it about the meeting you didn't like, so you can prepare for those things if they happen the next time. Yay. And I love it. Kara says, yay for FLW. And Louise says, ooh, I really like FLW architecture. Louise, I believe there is a Frank Lloyd Wright thingy, house building. And this is me being the map person in New Hampshire. Where's my map here? All right. I'm pretty sure I have it here. All right. Let me see if I can find it wicked quick. Doodly doo. Frank Lloyd Wright. Let me see. FLW. Yes, at the Currier Museum. At the Currier Museum in Manchester, there is a Frank Lloyd Wright house type thing. Okay. And also, Carrie, you're in Mass, so you would know that. You might want to take a trip up there. Let's see what we got here. Oh, interesting. This is cool. You guys, I just happened to look. Future exhibit opens June 11th. Frank Lloyd Wright in Manchester. The histories of the Zimmermans and the Khalils. Interesting. Now, will we be up there then? Let me see. Okay, okay, we're going to be on the other side of the state though. But yay. Oh my goodness. It's so crazy. My niece is already graduating from college and she's up in New Hampshire. That's why I'm thinking of it. But yay. Yeah. Good stuff. The Currier Museum, not too far from you, right? I'm such a map person. I freaking love maps. Yeah, I've been to Falling Water, I love it. Yes, we live in a FLW-ish house. Very cool, yeah. I really realize one of the things that I like that brings me joy is to go on, tours of kind of mid-century and modernist houses that I can imagine myself living in. Castles, sure, I'll go to a castle, but it feels like a bit of a disconnect, but it's fun to play. It's fun to play, um and there we go. Yeah, and I love it. Leslie is saying to Lady Bandit, use the positive vibes of this group to help flush that meeting. Notice, flush it out. Flush it out. They don't deserve any more of your time. Yeah. Do not give people any more of your mental energy, physical energy, time, thoughts. No. Traffic cop those things. Take it back. I reclaim my time. Right? We got you, Lady Bandit. We're here for you. All right. Virtual hug. Virtual hug. Um, so notice that the things that you like to do or buy or collect or just be surrounded by may be different than they were in other parts of your life. They could also be things that you've liked all along. It's funny when places people talk about, you won't even recognize yourself after 6 months. Well, that's kind of creepy to me. When people say, you're going to be unrecognizable. Well, there's some parts of me that I like and I want to keep. So there's a percentage of me that I'd like to change, my clutter, but, so I don't worry about change, changing into somebody unrecognizable. When you do things to change your life, you are merely improving upon something that's already awesome, which is you. You are already doing things to make you even more awesomer, you know? Mhm. Yeah. Oh, interesting. The Decordova. I went to that back, I swear, when I was in college. Yeah. The Corbusier house. Oh, yeah. That one out in Lincoln. What is that one? Regardless, but I love that. Yeah, let the stuff go and have experiences instead. That's where I am right now. I might have told this story because this is my third live of the day, so pardon me for repeating. But here was something that was really fun about this last trip we took. Is first of all, I didn't come back with any kind of souvenirs because frankly, I mean, I'm half Irish, but the Irish stuff, I didn't see anything that really connected with me. Gropius House, thank you. I appreciate. Yes, that's what I was thinking of. So I appreciate it, Kara. Um, uh but I came back with an invitation to go again. So I came back with an experience that I can look forward to for ideally, probably at this time next year. How fun is that? So looking forward to experiences. Actually, Kara, this was kind of fun too. And again, I know this is niche for people, but we got a small crew here. Um, I actually have at the beginning of September, I signed up for a tour of some of the mid-century houses down the. I say well, down the Cape, yeah, down the Cape in Wellfleet. So I'm excited to look through those. So that's going to be kind of fun. And isn't it fun to just go through other people's houses and see how they decorated, to see how they stored things, to see what they collected and how they displayed it and how they solved some storage problems? Like, I love that, or how they improved upon things. Um, it's really, to me, it's really interesting. Now, I love some of what Frank Lloyd Wright did. I also don't like some of the stuff that he did, but everybody's got their own kind of take on it. We went to the glass house in New Canaan, and that was really interesting to go into. But you're like, I don't know if I'd live here. I'd be like crawling around, afraid people were going to walk, peer in, you know. Um, oh, there we go. Yes, Kara, I will say actually here, you know what? This is going to be a bit of a deep dive. CCMHT. There we go. I'm going to put this and oh, interesting. That's weird. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the comments for Kara and anybody else who's interested. I realize I'm going niche to a lot of things, but right there, CCMHT, Cape Cod Modern House Trust. So that's where you can find out all sorts of information about those. You can even stay in some of them. That's why I'm actually going for, as my dad would call it, a reconnoiter, to take a tour, to just go through them and see if I would want to live in it. Because, I mean, if you think about it, things can look good online, things can look good on the internet, but it's a different experience when you're in the space. We may aspire to some of those houses that we see on TikTok or whatever. And oh, wouldn't that be so cool? But then you get in them and it might have a different vibe. I want a house that has a good vibe to me, that makes me feel welcome, safe, comfortable, not being peered in at. Notice, oh my God, I feel like even right now I'm feeling kind of wonky because the blinds are open and it's dark outside. But what we have is because our windows look out onto a main road. I have some of that kind of frosted, like pebbly, not contact paper stuff on it, so you can't look directly in because I like a bit of privacy. You know, um, yeah. And so notice what works for you. Notice what used to work for you and have you changed? If you have, that's okay. If you haven't, that's also okay. Yeah. So all sorts of good stuff. All sorts of good stuff. And the not so good stuff, get it out of you. Throw it, flush it down the toilet. Forget it like it was a poop and start the day tomorrow. And if it didn't make you feel good, what was it that didn't make you feel good? Maybe you don't eat that thing again. So, it's 8:47. I will tell you as soon as this YouTube live is over, I'm going to do some more stuff that was on my habit tracker here. Today's the 29th. Yep. And oh, that's cool. Actually, you know what? Oh, I did. I can even fill in one thing right now because I did go to Pilates. So I'll do that. And then I'm going to toddle on off to bed because we have lives tomorrow morning. Um, I am an early bird. So during the night, I am, pretty much that's when I kind of slow down and like a road trip, look for that cute little, not Bates Motel or a hotel, no Bates Motel, but a cute little place like the Blue Swallow in Tucumcari, New Mexico, and pull over to the side of the road, pull in to a safe little haven and check in, bring my stuff in, wash my face, climb into bed, maybe click on the TV, or to me, clicking on the TV is turning on TikTok, you know? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Don't forget to get your tickets to the Stall House. I love it. We had a wonderful experience last year, and it's crazy to realize that it's almost been a year. Now, my birthday is until August, but seriously, keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Okay. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So what do you want to do? Louise, good night. I bet you're going to have wonderful good dreams about your garden, hanging out in your garden with your grandson. That was so great that he came and helped you. That's so nice of you to make him food. So yeah, Louise, have good sweet dreams, my dear. And don't worry, I will not sing the entire exit theme to either Donnie and Marie or Lawrence Welk. And I could, but I won't, right? So, um, yeah, feeling good about anything you can is going to help get through life. When you start to feel dark and down, it can be tough. And when it feels tough, it makes everything tough. Louise says, please sing. All right. Dip, dip, dip. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Good night, sleep tight, and pleasant dreams to you. Here's a wish and a prayer that every dream comes true. This part I always forget. Ah, na 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 na. Good night, sleep tight, and what dreams you. Adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. Good night. That's just for you, Louise. That's just for you. It reminds me, Lawrence Welk reminds me of being at my grandmother's house and getting in one of her oversized kind of raccoon coats and dancing around, making up little dances with my cousin David and, things like that. Um, good memories. Good memories. Now, my grandmother's long and gone, and that coat probably had moth holes in it. And my cousin David, I'm going to the wedding of one of his many children in the fall. Time changes, you know? Yeah. All right. Becky says, grew up watching Lawrence Welk. Parents were from the silent generation. Yeah. I don't even know what the what's interesting? Just I don't know, maybe somebody knows the answer to this. I feel like they started labeling the generations with the baby boomers because there was that boom of babies after World War II. My parents were silent generation, so that was slightly before them. I wonder what came from before. There was the greatest generation, which were the people who were in World War II. I wonder what came before the greatest generation. Now, I am Gen X. I know that for a fact. It's funny. I have friends that are just a couple of years older than me, and there is definitely a um, like a difference. They got to go see all the good old shows. See, when I was growing up and I was in college radio, um, they changed the drinking age in Massachusetts from 18 to 21 or something like that. But some people got grandfathered in. I did not. So there was a bunch of people that even if you're only a year or two difference, um, they could go and see all the bands, you know? Aw, very cool. Oh, Louise smiled all day and for the last hour with you. I love that, my dear. Have some sweet dreams. Yeah. And notice that Lawrence Welk was there for the people who liked those songs back in the day. Now, when we were kids, we thought they were a bit hokey, but that was something that appealed to a certain generation. Um, I wonder now with the plethora of options, if there are those kind of touchstones, those strong touchstones for future generations. Okay. Lady Bandit, I hope you're doing okay. All right. Let go of what was bugging you. Do something good for yourself. Snuggle up with a pup or a mate or a teddy bear. Wrap yourself in a robe. Give yourself a good old hug. Shrug off that other stuff. Know that there's good stuff and good people who know that you're good stuff. Okay. Now, um, what else can we talk about? The two Barrys. I don't know what's happening with Barry Gibb, but I can try to find out. Barry Manilow. I could sing his catalog. Kara and I could do it. We will not. Do not. Barry Gibb. All right. What illness has he got? He's got arthritis. I will see if there's the news. Um, no, you know what? There isn't much. I don't know. I hope Barry Gibb's okay. Notice the Barrys. The Barrys. They helped us get through the 70s. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I posted a Barry Manilow video. I couldn't find any news about him. Yeah. So maybe Carla was, I hope she was um, just misinformed because I don't want anything to happen to any of the Barrys because they brought some music into our lives that we loved. And notice the things that connect you. It's music to other people. Notice the thing that it seems to be important is community and getting along with people and being appreciative for what you have and being proud of yourself for doing what you did do, forgiving yourself your trespasses as you forgive those who trespass against us, says my Catholic upbringing, forgiving yourself, loving yourself no matter the mistakes you made in the past, learning from the things that didn't work out, kind of like a recipe. What could you do differently the next time? If your cake didn't rise, what get curious. Don't judge yourself, oh, I'm a shitty cook or baker. What could you do different the next time with that recipe? You would change what you did with a recipe to increase the likelihood that you would get the outcome you want. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how you learn. That's how you get a good recipe. And a good recipe for a life well lived is ingredients that you enjoy, is not putting in ingredients you don't want. I will not be putting olives or peas or spinach into any of my recipes because I don't particularly care for those flavors. I will not invite people I don't like to my house. I will not do things that don't interest me. Can you imagine me playing football? Oh my God. I'm much more of an observer, and I don't even care to observe that. Um, Brooklyn is asking, what are the books behind you? Oh, so here, you know what? We got a few minutes here. So I used to, and you'll find it on YouTube. Just look up Retro Roadmap, two words. And that was a website that I started as a blog, gosh, back in 2009. Now, prior to that, I had for decades loved to drive around with my camera and take pictures of cool old places. And those are books that I wrote. There are three of them right here, kind of on display, to remind me when I look in of the cool things that I've done. And I have 2 others, but they're out of print. Actually, they're all out of print now, but I've got, like, a box of them. It's so funny. I was gonna say in the basement. They're not in the basement anymore. They're literally right over here. And they are kind of travel guides for, cool vintage places. Yeah, and the neat thing is I will share with you, kind of under that umbrella of do things sooner rather than later, is one of the reasons I decided to take the scary leap of leaving my well-paying corporate job with health insurance back in 2016. I quit that job to give it a shot to see if I could make a business of that. So that's when I wrote the books. I was on TV. I did a Kickstarter and made a whole bunch of videos, and the videos were there, and I got some interest from TV. Nothing really panned out. But the wonderful thing is I did that while there were still a number of cool old places to send people to. The thing about cool old places, as I joke, is they don't make them anymore. They were born back, in the 40s, 50s, 20s, 30s, and that type of thing. And old things do close. Old businesses do close. People who started them die off, and the family may not want it. I am so glad in hindsight, and I even knew it in foresight, how important it was for me to not wait until I was retired to do my book, my retro roadmap stuff, because I even knew back in 2016 that those many of the places that I wanted to get people to go out to, five and dimes and drive-in movie theaters and diners and different places like that, that many of them were probably not going to last until I was 60 whatever. So I encourage you, what is something you want to do? Start it sooner rather than later. Start it now. Today is the youngest you will ever be. You are now older than you were when I started talking on, 57 minutes ago. We are all a wee bit older. And that's the only direction the time goes in. It rarely goes backwards, it's always just going forwards. So, what's something you have wanted to start, but you haven't yet? Kara says, I used to be younger. Yeah. And I was thinking about this today too, because I tend to get kind of a wave of tiredness around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I thought, my God, you know what? Here's another example of that you can be alive on the planet, but your body may not be having as much energy as you used to, the stamina. Um, so, noting to do the things that mean the most to you, that require the most energy when you have it, you know? Oh, good. Yay. Check it out, you guys. You know what we did? Lady Bandit says, you guys made my night a lot better. Sending hugs back to y'all. Now, she's from Oklahoma, so she's using the y'all, and I love it. Um, we're sending hugs to you too, hon. Okay. Shake it off, shrug it off. Meh, whatevs. And tomorrow's going to be another day, as the monkeys would say. I don't care what you say. Tomorrow's gonna be another day. Hey, 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 hey. Now that album reminds me of dancing around my grandmother's house with my cousin Kim. My cousin Kim is no longer with us. She passed away 2 days before my birthday. I got the call while I was in Los Angeles, and it was a shock. She was only 2 years older than me. So none of us ever know when we're going, okay? Beth's ducklings. I love it. Quack, quack. Yeah. But you know what? Ducklings grow up to be their own ducks, and they can lead other ducks somewhere too. So learn to be a good duck. Learn as a duckling to be a good duck, and then you can have ducklings of your own. You can share what you're learning here with people in your life if they're interested. Don't force it on them. I always got to watch it. Even today at lunch with our neighbors, it was it was me to being like, I said, well, if I were coaching, I would say this, but I try not to be throwing it at people unless they want to. But we have a cool group here. Isn't this really neat? Isn't this really, aren't we so lucky that in our little lovely corner of the interwebs, that there are no trolls, either knowing us or under hiding under a bridge as the billy goats gruff go trip tropping over it? How we continually attract people who are nice and polite and kind and connecting and interesting and all those good things. How lucky are we that we don't have to deal with a lot of that bullshit that happens? Now, this is why I love a small group. I am always about quality versus quantity. Now that goes for my collections and it goes for collecting people. It goes for experiences. So I love that we have a small but mighty crew here. I love that we fly below the radar so people don't come into the comments. And when they do, kind of like an errant bug or something, that we can easily, without a lot of drama, just get them out. Okay. Now, Cheryl Siegel says, "Have a good evening, everyone." And thanks, Beth. Yes, you know what? Crazy enough. It just hit 9:01. I went a little bit past, but I'm going to sign off now. Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. And we've got a TikTok live and a YouTube live and a whiskey drink and a lager drink. All right. And then we do have a decluttering party on Saturday if you want to show up. Okay. Always a pleasure. And I love it. Leslie says this group is something I list in my good book almost every day. Yeah, we are really lucky because this probably won't last forever. I know it's not going to be sustainable over decades, but this moment in time, how cool it is that we found each other and we can connect. And I'm happy to be the hub in that wheel, but we all play a part in it. Okay. And this hub and this spoke, I'm going to go see my hub in the other room, and I will see some of you tomorrow morning. If I don't, no worries. You do you. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. Maybe I'll see you at some point throughout the weekend. And even if I don't, I'm sending you good vibes. Okay. Good night. Sleep tight and pleasant dreams to you.